there's someone out there who feels just like me, there is.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 bands that only released one album.
They didn't know how to play their instruments.
For this list, we'll be looking at bands that only put out one official record. While they might have released live records and compilations, these groups only have one studio album to their name. We won't be including solo artists like Lauryn Hill or Jeff Buckley, as they deserve a list of their own. Did we miss any of your favorite one-album bands? Let us know in the comments below. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
It's out of control. It's out of control.
Number 10, Them Crooked Vultures. Formed in 2009, hard rock band Them Crooked Vultures had a brief run that delivered something for every type of rock fan. Fans of Foo Fighters and Queens of the Stone Age got to see Dave Grohl and Josh Homme team up with Led Zeppelin bassist John Paul Jones in a supergroup for the ages. Started as a side project, the group's self-titled album fared well on the rock charts. Not only that, New Fang won a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance. Given the three members' busy schedules, the band didn't last beyond their one album. Never say never, but Them Crooked Vultures might be destined to forever be a quick and satisfying detour for the three bandmates. Number 9, Germs. As punk rock exploded in late 70s Los Angeles, the Germs staked their claim among the city's most iconic hardcore bands.
Well, when they first got together as a band, they didn't know how to play their instruments, and they did things to kind of camouflage that.
Raucous leader Darby Crash led a ragtag team of musicians that lit the punk scene on fire. Nirvana and Foo Fighters guitarist Pat Smear and the Go-Go's singer Belinda Carlisle both got their start in the band. Produced by Joan Jett, their album G.I. kick-started the new wave of West Coast hardcore music. Unfortunately, Crash's tragic death brought the band's tenure to a premature close. Inspiring a new generation of bands, the Germs' influence extends well beyond their short-lived career. Number 8, Young Marble Giants. Hailing from Wales, Young Marble Giants arrived in the midst of a turning point in punk music.
As the final day falls into the night, there is peace outside in the narrow light.
At this point, punk bands either veered into experimental post-punk territory or doubled down with the aggressive energy of hardcore. Young Marble Giants went for post-punk, which preferred more technical and melodic territory. Through this new subgenre, the band found their own specific form of sparse instrumentation.
Fingers are pointed in my direction.
Singer Alison Statton's signature voice rounded out their idiosyncratic sound. Lasting 2 years, the band's legacy lives on through their album Colossal Youth. An interesting contrast to their louder counterparts, Young Marble Giants' minimalism continues to shine as a cult staple.
Coffee powder in the strip ball. Look a dealer in the eye.
Number 7, The Postal Service. Death Cab for Cutie's Ben Gibbard and producer Jimmy Tamborello formed this indie pop supergroup with help from singer Jenny Lewis.
Well, I was the one worth leaving.
Due to their conflicting schedules, Tamborello sent his produced tracks to Gibbard through the mail. This unique songwriting method gave the band their name. Their 2003 album, Give Up, featured songs like Such Great Heights that made the band a cult favorite. Prioritizing other music ventures, the band members weren't able to stay together. A decade later, the Postal Service reunited for a tour, exciting fans that were eager for another release. Ultimately, the band announced that there wouldn't be any new music.
We become silhouettes when our bodies finally go.
whether or not they ever produce a follow-up album, the Postal Service remains an indie pop standout. Number 6. Derek and the Dominos. From the Yardbirds and Cream to his appearance on a Beatles record, Eric Clapton was perhaps the busiest guitar player of his era. One of his many projects was Derek and the Dominos, known for their album Layla and other assorted love songs. The legendary title track stands as the most memorable moment of the band's legacy, combining Clapton's soaring leads, Duane Allman's slide guitar, and the now iconic piano outro. The epic track is a highlight of the early 70s rock scene. Not long after the release, Clapton was on to his next project, a successful solo career. While Derek and the Dominos' legacy might only be Layla and Bell Bottom Blues, their brief run was chock full of quality rock and roll. Number 5. Excalibur. This little-known heavy metal band snuck their way into the hearts of hard rock fans. During the heyday of big hair and metal, Excalibur failed to conquer the heavily saturated hard rock market. Still, their album, Warriors of the Night, delivered an engaging and rocking good time. With an ode to King Arthur's sword, loud guitars, and fantastical lyrics, Excalibur made their unique stamp on metal. The band and their discography is especially rare, without even a Wikipedia page to their name. They might not be remembered as well as other 80s groups, but hair metal devotees will love this throwback to a bygone era. Number 4. The Laws. At the start of the 90s, the Laws and their self-titled debut were considered the next big thing. Along with a repackaging of their previous single, There She Goes, the album received decent sales and critical acclaim. However, singer and songwriter Lee Maver's perfectionism stalled future projects. A year after their album came out, bassist John Power exited the group for other ventures, with the band dissolving soon after.
A melody chord unwinds me, a rhythm of life unties me.
Subsequent reunions have yet to yield a sophomore effort from the band. Years later, Sixpence None the Richer brought back There She Goes in a successful cover version. Through covers and renewed interest in their work, the Laws' legacy carries on. Number 3. Minor Threat. In the early 80s, Washington, D.C. quickly became a premier destination for all things hardcore punk. Singer Ian MacKaye led the DC charge with his band Minor Threat. Their album, Out of Step, provided a template for the regional music scene, along with MacKaye's record label Discord. Not only did Minor Threat prove to be a profound influence on hardcore, they also spearheaded DIY culture and inspired the straight edge movement. In just 3 years, the band left an indelible mark on punk and independent music. MacKaye went on to expand his influential roots with post-hardcore band Fugazi, continuing to push the envelope and adhere to his DIY principles. Number 2. Damage Plan. Born out of the ashes of their band Pantera, Damage Plan once again featured Dimebag Darrell on guitar and Vinnie Paul on drums.
We have a new band that kicks ass, and we're really proud of it. We're really happy. Anybody that's ever followed Pantera, I think you'll be happy with what we do, and I hope you come and support us because we're there to kick some ass.
The Abbott brothers continued to push their talents to the limit, forming Damage Plan as a further exploration of groove and heavy metal. Their album, Newfound Power, with guest appearances from Jerry Cantrell and Corey Taylor, saw some success on the Billboard 200. However, the promise of a new start for the Pantera veterans ended tragically on tour. During a performance in Columbus, Ohio, Dimebag Darrell was shot and killed by an armed spectator. Vinnie Paul forged ahead in other bands, but no one could replace the one-in-a-million talent of Dimebag Darrell. Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. The Monks. Their album Black Monk Time expanded garage rock and pioneered early punk music. The Modern Lovers. With Jonathan Richman's eccentric songwriting, they took alternative music to new heights. Temple of the Dog. Soundgarden and Pearl Jam teamed up for a supergroup that was classic grunge. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Sex Pistols. There was music before and after the Sex Pistols.
I don't want a holiday in the sun. I want to go to the New Bell Sun.
After the release of their 1977 album, Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols, punk music and aesthetics flooded the culture. Led by the snarling vocals of Johnny Rotten and the sonic boom of Steve Jones' guitar, the band unleashed punk upon the British masses.
God save the Queen. She ain't no human being.
With provocative songs such as Anarchy in the UK, they inspired a generation of British music from Joy Division to the Smiths.
Anarchy for the UK is coming sometime. Maybe.
Some say they had no musical talent, but the Sex Pistols' impact rises above all the naysayers. In less than 3 years, the band laid waste to the musical establishment. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.